Oh, I guess like white on white is like really bad. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection palettes. I received 2 busted ones, so I was waiting for some replacements to come in. So my video is going up a little later than I anticipated, but it's okay because I have all the palettes now. Before we jump in today's video, make sure you're subscribed and on notifications to be notified when I upload a new video. So I'm thinking of doing swatches of each palette and maybe doing a look with each palette. Let's see. I'm thinking of starting with the Armed and Gorgeous palette. Let's open her up. It's a really pretty palette. All right, we're gonna do some swatches. We have VIP, Access, Guilt Trip, Coin, and Agent. And that's what they look like. And let's go on ahead and swatch them right now. So my top row seem to swatch pretty well. Let's try the bottom row. We have Top Secret, we have Smooth Criminal, Secure, Prowl, and Classified. All right, and I'm just gonna go next to Agent with this and continue swatching. So overall, my palettes seem to swatch really well. Top Secret and Prowl were definitely the patchiest ones, so let's see how they work on the eyes. Let's start with the shade Agent, and we're gonna put her in the crease and all over the eyelid. And right now, I don't have any makeup on, not even like foundation, so I just wanna see how everything performs. So I think I have like a good base going on right now. Let's keep it going. I feel like Agent and Secure are very similar, so I'm gonna go in with Secure and just put a little bit more on the eyelids. Let's go in with Smooth Criminal as well. I'm gonna go in with some MAC Fix Plus and take the shade Classified and put it all over the lid. Okay, so usually when I use MAC Fix Plus with shimmer shades, I don't run into this, so I'm having to build it a little bit more, which I'm kind of surprised. Because when I did my makeup yesterday with the Norvina palette, like my eyelids were like, bam! And then we're gonna go in with Prowl and add, and just darken up the outer corners. Okay, Prowl is like a darker shade and there it goes. Jaclyn and Morphe have been saying that there have been some badge inconsistencies with these palettes. It's funny, like when you are in manufacturing, like you have a concept and you know it works at this scale, but that does not mean it is necessarily going to translate at a higher scale. It's just so funny during like the process upscale, just how things work at a larger scale. And I think that's something that is not always taken into consideration. A lot of people just think, oh, it works. I can go from a 1 liter batch to 100 liters, no problem. And you don't think much of it. I don't know what ingredients might be causing it in these palettes, but I've definitely seen it in drug development, especially, you know, not really with like solutions, but when you are more with like creams. But it's just something that needs to be taken into consideration. I would love to come out with like my own line one day. Luckily, I have the opportunity to work in product development right now, so I have an idea of what I need to prepare myself with when it comes to that point of, you know, taking a concept and scaling it up. Some people just rush into things because they have deadlines. Everything hits the fan prior to manufacturing. I have never been part of a manufacturing campaign that has gone over smooth. Something is always wrong, whether it's documentation, whether it's having enough ingredients for it. I'm gonna get to bulk uniformity in a second. So, and I'm definitely seeing a little bit inconsistency with some of these shades. I am having issues blending in this outer shade. I'm able to like build it a little bit. We're gonna go in with Top Secret, and I'm gonna use it on my lower lash line. And barely. I normally don't smoke out my lower lash lines. I thought this would be a fun shade, but it's there, but it's not there. Based off the swatches, Top Secret and Prowl were definitely the patchiest swatches, and they also gave me the most issues when I applied it on the eyes. Like, you can't really tell that I have Top Secret at all on my lower lash line, and I mentioned that I had issues building up my outer corners with Prowl. I did try my best. It's just a little parts of it are patchy, and I was really going in, but it's still not where I would like it to be. I would have just liked to seen these two perform a little bit better. I didn't try this by itself. It swatched really nice, but when I used MAC Fix Plus, I had a little bit of issues with it. I had to go over a couple times, which is fine. It kind of shocked me because MAC Fix Plus usually helps with the eyeshadow putting it on instead of having to really build it. So this was a demo with the Armed and Gorgeous palette. The next palette we're gonna go in is with Ring in the Alarm. And Ring in the Alarm is this pretty palette. I get modern Renaissance vibes when I look at this palette. I really like the pinks in this palette, and I am thinking fall right now too. So I'm really excited to see how these colors perform because I really want fall to start. So we're gonna do some swatches. And the top row is Lolly, Rush, On Camera, Boom, and Alert. And this is what they look like on my fingers. And here we go. So this top row swatched really nicely. Let's go in with the bottom row. I'm just getting eyeshadow everywhere. I have it all over my shirt. Oh well. And then on the bottom row, we have Bomb Ass, Siren, Mugshot, Framed, and Secret. Secret reminds me of the shade Prowl from the previous palette that I used, so I'm hoping this one swatches a little bit better. All right, and then let's continue on right here. Ooh, that shade's really pretty. Bomb Ass. Yes. Okay, so the really only patchy one I had was Framed. So I wonder how this one's gonna perform. And the Secret shade definitely swatched better than Prowl did. So like an in-process step that we do in manufacturing is we'll take bulk uniformity samples, and we take samples from like the top of the batch, middle of the batch, and the bottom of the batch, and that's supposed to be representative of the entire batch. And we set specific specifications for what the requirements need to be. And if something looks funky, we don't proceed and we do an investigation to see what happened. And I think that's part of when these eyeshadows must have been in production. Either there was too much ingredient, too less of ingredient. I know pressing for eyeshadows is causing an effect as well. But since, you know, Jaclyn came out and talked about how, you know, they repressed them, but people are still having issues, so I'm thinking that there's a bulk uniformity issue within the batch. That's just me talking from experience. I don't know, I wasn't there for the manufacturing, and that's just something they need to investigate in their batch record. The batch record is supposed to be essentially the book of production from start to finish. As long as everything looks fine in the batch record, you should be fine. You shouldn't be seeing this issue. But if we never really worked on scaling up from the small process to like the large process for commercialization, then you just might have some like in-between step that just really wasn't well thought out. Let's just see how this palette works on my eyes, and we will go from there. We're gonna go into the shade Mugshot. When I swatched the eyeshadows, they did feel creamy and buttery. Even Framed, that looked a little patchy, like it felt good, it just didn't perform well. So that's something interesting to note. And once again, I don't have any primer or anything helping these shades. I just wanted to see how these eyeshadows worked by themselves. Let's go in with Framed to see how this works on the eyelid. So Framed is trying to make an appearance, but it's struggling. I'm dipping back in and framed is still having some issues. It made it on. It's just I'm trying to blend her out and we're having technical difficulties right here. So let's go in again. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. But it looks like I have a black eye is what I see. I don't know what it looks like on camera. Oh no. And I'm like really digging into my eye right now. The payoff is just not happening. In product development is you can't rush manufacturing and you can't cut corners. There's just so much that goes into, you know, research, development of a product, and locking down the manufacturing process. It's such a detailed process that takes a long time, and you can do what you can to expedite, like, you know, documentation turnaround, but you can't rush the actual manufacturing because it is a solid process that you lock down, and there's just no way you can expedite it. So I don't know what happened, but I would be interested in to see like the bulk uniformities. I've seen reviews that have positive reviews. I see mixed reviews like how mine is right now. And then I've seen just very negative reviews. So there could just be something in the bulk. And it's just for some of the shades. For some of the shades I'm having difficulties with is what I would personally investigate. I think a lot of these shades are fine. It's just some of them, like how I'm seeing them perform on my arm and how it's translating on my eye. That's what I would focus on. I think like the other shades are fine so far. Let's go with the shade Boom. I'm gonna use MAC Fix Plus again and put it on all over my lid. Trusty old MAC Fix Plus. I love this stuff. It's like a tongue twister for me, MAC Fix Plus. Okay, now this shade is doing how I want it to with the MAC Fix Plus. That is very pretty. There we go. I like that. Now let's go in with Secret and do the outer corners. Just darken them up a little bit. So this shade is working a little bit better than how Prowl did from the first palette. There we go. I like it. And we're gonna top off this look with Bomb Ass on the lower lash line. I really like this shade. I really hope it does well. And it looks very pigmented on the brush. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This shade is working really nicely. I should have taken that shade with the MAC Fix Plus on my eyes. I liked Ringing the Alarmed more than Armed and Gorgeous. I think these shadows performed a little bit better. I still had some issues with framed. Most of the shades that I used had really good payoff with both the swatches and how they worked on the eyes. I just think Framed would be a shade I would look into. And I know Secret was a little patchy too, but it wasn't as bad as Prowl. It was workable. Like, I wasn't here forever. Like, I did have to go in a couple times to kind of build up that color. My left arm is pretty red from doing the swatches, so I'm gonna switch to this arm. From the next palette we're gonna go in is with Bling Boss. I get alumna vibes from this. Go Catamounts. I have high hopes for this palette because out of all four of the palettes, this one's definitely my favorite. These are some colors I really gravitate towards, so let's see how they work. And we're gonna do some swatches first. The top row is Bling Bling, oops, Hush Hush. I'm not used to doing swatches on my left hand, so I'm like, we have Gem. Ooh, Gem's really pretty. That's like my Catamount color. Pizzazz. And Mystic. Mystic reminds me of Prowl and Secret from the previous two palettes. So let's see how these swatch. Oh yeah. Ooh, okay. So Hush Hush and Mystic were definitely the patchiest. I think Hush Hush is just a really light shade, so I'm not gonna jump to conclusions yet, but Mystic was a little patchy. The other shades swatched beautifully. I really like that Gem shade a lot. I really hope it translates on the eyes. And then on the bottom row, we have Sparks, we have Glitz and Glam, Rockstar, Ballsy, I love that shade name, and Berry Treasure. That's so cute. Okay. Ooh, they all look beautiful on the fingers. Let's put them on. Ooh, that one's pretty. Okay, so Sparks and Rockstar were a little patchy. Let's see how they work on the eyes. I want to see how Berry Treasure works on the eyelids because it's swatched black with a little bit of like maroon shimmer. We are gonna go in with Hush Hush. I see a little tint difference, but I'm not too sure. So I'm not really crazy about this shade right now. I can't tell, like I said, I can't tell if it's eyeshadow or if it's my eyelid. Going in a second time, it's coming to life. So it just needed a little help. Maybe if I had concealer on or like Urban Decay's primer potion, I would have seen more of a difference, but just by itself, I couldn't tell. Let's go on with Sparks next. Okay, so Sparks was a little patchy when I swatched it, but on the eyes, it's not terrible. It's actually working kind of nice with Hush Hush. And yeah, I know you can't always judge swatches. Swatches are obviously going to be a little different because you're just applying it to your arm with your finger instead of like a brush onto your eyelids. So you always got to take that into consideration, but it helps you get like an idea of what the shade is going to look like and how it's going to perform. Let's darken up the shade. Let's darken up the eyes with Rockstar. Okay, so Rockstar is definitely a little patchy. It's kind of like you put it on and then it's like disappearing if Thanos was like snapping his fingers. Like, it was here, where did it go? But it's mixing nice with Sparks, so I think Sparks is playing more of a role right now. I'm just gonna go back in with Sparks a little bit on top. I actually really like this Sparks color. To give it my eyelid a little bit more dimension. Hooded eyes over here. Good little fall look going. Alright, let's take trusty old MAC Fix Plus, and we're gonna go in with Berry Treasure. If it looks like I have a black eye, well that's how it's swatched. Okay, it definitely is black than shimmer. And it looked like it was just like a maroon like sheen sprayed on top. Cause like I don't see it right now. I see like some glitter, but oh gosh. Oh no. I just soiled it right now. Okay. Well then. That's how my day is going. And it's not working as I would like it to. Raccoon look. Oh honey. No. I don't like that. I'm getting like emo vibes. Maybe if I was going to a Kiss concert, maybe. Yikes. Don't like that Berry Treasure. All right, let's go in with Gem. All right, it was having some issues picking up on my brush. Let's try it again. Okay, so this shade is actually working really nice on that lower lash line. It's called Redemption from what's on my eyelid. I don't know what they were going for Berry Treasure, but there's definitely inconsistency. It looks like a shimmery purple with like a little bit of black, but I didn't know black was like the main focus or if that was the intention, but this is what I'm gathering from. But Gem, oh yeah. Beautiful shade. Definitely my favorite out of all this. Okay, so this palette I had really high hopes for. Definitely had some more patchier shades in this palette that needed a little bit more work. I mean, you know, they swatched patchy and then like they took some time to build, especially Rockstar. I didn't have as much issues with Sparks. Berry Treasure I would look more into because I don't know what the goal shade was because it ended up black on my eyelids, but like when you swatch it, it's black with some like mystic glitter is what it looks like. Unfortunately, I'm not crazy about this palette. I am digging the shade Gem because purple is my favorite color and it reminds me of my alma mater. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have more fun with the shimmer shades, and that's something I am noticing in all these palettes, that I'm enjoying the shimmer shades and not the matte shades. Be my advice to Jaclyn is I know that she is investigating why all these palettes, you know, aren't swatching as well. I really think she needs to focus on the matte shades. Go back, read through all your documentation, the batch batch records of the production of the matte shades and kind of just go through the ingredients. Was there anything wrong? Was something added? Was something removed? Was there too much of an ingredient used? Maybe the matte shades just weren't ready for scale up, and that's what we do. You know, have an investigation, just kind of going through what is causing this issue. I understand you're trying to just swatch every palette just to see, but there's a bulk issue with the mattes is what I'm seeing. That's what I would really focus on right now. For the most part, most of the shimmer shades are fine. I just want to see what is causing the issues with the matte shades. And I also want to know what the Gola Berry Treasure was. All right, we have one palette left. All right, and then the final palette to test out is the Dark Magic palette. Ooh. So I'm a little worried about this palette because there are definitely more matte shades than shimmer shades, and from experience with the other 3 palettes, the matte shades are the ones causing the most issues. So we're gonna swatch all these. We're gonna go in with Poof, Power Cut, Trickery. Trickery is really pretty, and Diversion. Here we go. Ooh. I really like Trickery. So Poof wasn't that bad. Shh is like, hello, where are you? When I first received the Vaulted Temptress was shattered in my palette and black eyeshadow went everywhere, and I'm like, well, I know the black is definitely pigmented. So we're gonna go in with Potion. Oh, it feels really good. Oh my gosh, on my thumb, it already looks patchy as hell. Busted, Inside Job, Mojo's pretty, and Temptress. So this is what it looks like, and you can tell this one is just not gonna be well. Let's go. Like, it just looks like baby puke. Busted is a little patchy, I'm kind of sad. Ooh, so is Inside Job. Ooh, so is Mojo. Alright, but the black, hey, the black is like the best matte shade. Everything else is kind of, I don't know. I love Jaclyn. I want her to find out what the conclusion of what is causing all of this. I can just only give recommendations. Jaclyn, if you're watching, that's my advice. I really do want her to figure out what is wrong because these palettes are really, really pretty. And it's just really sad to see that they're not performing as she hoped. I can only, you know, be honest and show you guys on camera. So I want her to succeed and get to the bottom of this. These palettes have potential. I think everyone wants to know at this point what's causing it. Let's go in with the shade Potion. Hello. Where is it? Where is it? I don't see anything. Nothing. I mean, there's a little bit, but I can't work with this. All right, screw it. Let's move on because Potion doesn't want to cooperate. Let's see how Inside Job works instead. It's like I apply it on the eyelid and then it's gone. Like, hello. Donde está Inside Job? Well, we're getting somewhere right now. These just don't blend out well at all. It's just, no, it's not doing as it should. It's just patchy. Let's go in with Busted. Okay, well, Busted definitely brought some life to my eyes. 3rd shade the charm, except this eye is having some issues. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Ish. We kind of have something. I want to see how Trickery works, so I'm gonna take MAC X Plus and put Trickery on. Oh no. So I'm having to build Trickery like the shade Classified. And then we're gonna take the shade Mojo and smoke out the lower lash line. So that wasn't bad. Well, I have Incredible Hulk vibes right now. But this was definitely like my least favorite palette. Overall, I really like the shade colors. Like, I think the shades are beautiful. They just did not pay off as expected. I applaud them for holding back and releasing the vault later than the original date, but even then, it should have taken more time. I think I would have been happier to see the palette launch, you know, October, November, December, where all the eyeshadows worked perfectly and we weren't still seeing issues after it was already pushed back from the original launch date. Maybe repressing isn't the issue. There might be something more at large. I would love to see Jaclyn further look into this. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video. I hope this is helpful. I really love Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. I'm a little disappointed, as you can tell with like the tone of my voice and just my reactions. I don't know. I guess I just wanted something more, but I do really hope Jaclyn gets to the bottom of this. Just trying to provide constructive criticism. I'm not just trying to like tear her down, tear her palettes down, tear Morphe down. Make sure you subscribe before you leave, and if you have the vault palettes, let me know what your experience was. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.